We are now 3 days into the shutdown of the federal government. Why are Republicans set on keeping the shutdown going? The answer is nobody knows, not even Republicans. We now know that the Republican shutdown is about nothing. And today we have the definitive evidence in the form of a quote from Congressman Marlon Stutzman venting his frustration about the lack of progress in the hostage negotiations his party started. Congressman Stutzman said this.
We're not going to be disrespected, and so that's where we're at today, where we have to get something out of this, and I don't know what that even is.
It's almost as if Republicans don't know what they are mad about.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
With the illusion of legislative substance out of the way, Republicans are focusing on the one thing they're good at, shaping the message.
Do you have a second?
I'm all wired up here.
I just did CNN, and I just go over and over again. We're willing to compromise. We're willing to negotiate. I don't think they poll tested. We won't negotiate. I think it's awful for them to say that over and over again.
Yeah, I do too. And I just came back from the 2-hour meeting with them. And that was basically the same view privately as it was publicly.
I think if we keep saying we wanted to defund it, we fought for that, but now we're willing to compromise on this, I think they can't. And we're going to win. I think, well, I know we don't want to be here, but we're going to win this, I think.
Those were Kentucky's senators, honing the latest GOP talking points fresh after each man used them live TV.
I hear from the American people all the time, why don't you guys compromise?
Well, there will have to be a compromise.
So we've been offering some compromises.
The American people expect us to negotiate.
They're saying we won't negotiate.
Which is he doesn't want to negotiate.
I can't understand why a compromise or negotiation would be bad.
Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell were just sticking to the message. Because with the president refusing to negotiate with hostage takers, the message is all they have left. From their message about the World War II memorial.
There was a time during the attack in Benghazi when there were 5 people there. Today there were 7 people trying to keep the World War II vets from seeing the monument.
We have more guards there now than what we had standing around our embassies in Benghazi.
And they sent more guards to the World War II memorial today than they did to Benghazi.
To their message about Democrats' heartlessness towards cancer patients.
Well, listen to this. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said saving a child with cancer is not his priority.
While we work out our differences here in Washington, children should not be denied the treatment.
Don't take hope away from those families.
It is Obama and the Democrats who want these kids with cancer not being allowed to visit the hospital.
And finally, to the granddaddy of them all, the talking point about President Obama negotiating with everyone but Republicans.
Let me see if I understand this. The president will talk to Syria, Iran, Vladimir Putin, but he won't talk to members of the House.
He'll negotiate with Iran, Putin, but he won't sit down and talk.
Who will negotiate with Syria, who will negotiate with Putin, who will negotiate with Iran.
Iranians and Syrians and Russians.
But he wants to say he's not going to negotiate with Boehner, but he will negotiate with Putin.
So he can talk to Iran, but don't talk to congressional leaders.
But he won't talk with a Republican?
This is just ridiculous. We've got the president who's willing to negotiate with Iran and Russia and Syria, but not with the members of Congress.
POTUS negotiates with Iran, Putin, not Congress. Hashtag shocking.
The president has the time to negotiate with Iran.
He'll negotiate with the Iranians. Negotiate with the nation of Iran.
Who refers to America as Big Satan.
You know, you can talk to the Iranians, you can talk to the Russians,
I've heard that talking point a lot.
Republicans.
Let me just ask you this question, though.
If
it's extreme, it is a good talking point, but that's what it is. Republicans cling so tightly to their message to obscure one thing. Obamacare, the original reason Republicans shut down the U.S. government, well, it looks like it might be working. Disney just announced they would be offering full-time positions to 427 part-time employees in Florida to qualify for Obamacare. And across the country, people are signing up for Obamacare. People like Butch Matthew, a Republican, who signed up for Obamacare after he realized it would save him $13,000. Kimberly Heacock, an uninsured worker, was relieved after she signed up.
I found out today that I do qualify at my level, and so I'm excited about that.
Reverend Donald Morton didn't have insurance before this week.
I myself was
not approved for health care because of pre-existing conditions. So while I'm a pastor, while I have a PhD, I'm a regular citizen.
Joining me now is Republican Congressman Blake Farenthold from Texas. And Congressman, I feel like I've lost the plot a little bit on the shutdown. So I just want to start with points of agreement, which is that you want to defund Obamacare, right?
Listen, we've already given up defunding Obamacare. We just want fairness now, where if you don't want to sign up for Obamacare as an individual, you don't have to. We've already given waivers to...
Is it your now position that you no longer support defunding Obamacare?
Listen, I support defunding Obamacare, but we've already given that up in our third pitch to the United States Senate. We're saying let's treat individuals the same way we treat corporations and labor unions and big donors to Obama.
Here's what it looks like right now. This is how I understand the shutdown. The Republicans are shutting down the government because the president and Harry Reid won't let them unshut down certain parts of the government.
That's not the case at all.
But that's all you're talking about. No one's talking about Obamacare.
We've agreed to fund, in one of our offers to the Senate, we agreed to fund 100% of the government, including Obamacare, which was a stretch for me as a conservative. All we were asking was that individuals not be fined if they don't sign up, if they choose not to. Anybody who wants to can. That was our last offer. But the president, for political gain, is insisting on shutting down the government.
I just want us to be honest here. The reason you want to delay the individual mandate is because you don't like Obamacare and you want to get rid of it. I just don't understand the hiding the ball. A week ago, at least, your caucus was being honest about this. You guys don't like Obamacare. You want to get rid of it. Now, all I'm getting, this is the message of the day, which I've heard from other people, which is we want fairness. But let's just be honest here. You want to get rid of the law.
Absolutely, and we think the law will collapse under its own weight. Exactly. And we're trying to mitigate the damage in the meantime.
That is the weird thing. Because you think the law will collapse under its own weight, and this is the thing I can never understand. You guys seem very sure of this, and I don't think you're being disingenuous. I think you really think this is a bad piece of legislation that is really going to collapse under its own weight. I don't understand why you won't just let that play out. And I want to read something to you. This is an article from Bloomberg Business Week of the experience of one call center that was taking calls on the first day of sign-up in Nevada. When the exchange opened 17 minutes later than the 8 a.m. scheduled start time, the website and call centers were flooded with inquiries. A worker with the Nevada Health Exchange said that in the first few hours, it was just raw emotion calling in. People eager for assurance, at times in tears, wanted to get coverage they didn't have before. So why do you want to take away these people's health insurance?
We don't.
Yes,
our last offer was allowing anybody. Our last offer was allowing anybody who wants to sign up to sign up. And believe me, that was a stretch for a lot of us.
Congressman Blake Farenthold from Texas, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Joining me now is